So this is the video that I wish someone had done for me before I wrote my PhD thesis. I've just finished my PhD thesis. I was a week late. I had a bit of a nightmare in the final week, and so part of that nightmare was caused by software issues that I didn't realise were going to cause me big problems and make me late. I've just found out 30 minutes ago that my PhD has been accepted, so I'm feeling very, very happy. So I decided to write my thesis in Google Docs, and there's lots of reasons why that's brilliant. You can access it from your phone, from your iPad, from your laptop, from any computer. And here's all the, and I wrote different sections in different docs, so here's all my PhD sections. All, and there's loads of it. I was probably going forever, this thing. And I had it, what I did was I had an intro and then hyperlinked from the intro to the different docs so that I could keep them sort of separate. It's very easy to share docs with your supervisor. You can create a share link up here. They can actually, if you give them privileges, they can comment on it. They can even edit it for you. They can make changes. It's got all the stars and everything else. It's great, but there's a thing that it works with that makes it even better, which is called Paperpile. So Paperpile is a Chrome browser plugin which manages your academic papers. Now I've got 630 different academic papers and articles and chapters in my Paperpile database. A lot of them are actually the actual PDF themselves. So if I've got a PDF in here, I can read it on my, there's an iPad app, a Paperpile iPad app. I can read it on my iPad, highlight sections. The highlights show up in a searchable window. It's just brilliant. So you can also, if you haven't got a PDF or something, you can still add it to your database so you can cite it. So you can just create a citation for an article and you put in details so that you can cite it. And I'll show you later how you do that. But if you upload a PDF, usually it will it'll extract the citation data from the metadata of the PDF. But you can see here that the citation information is stored, and we're using the Americans formatting for citations. So you can, I just from the very beginning started putting all my papers in here. I download, if I could get hold of them, I'd download them as PDFs, upload them into Paperpile, and then read them. I'd usually read them on my iPad. I'd highlight things that I wanted to quote. I'd make notes, all in Paperpile. Now this is why it's brilliant, is that if I go to this dummy thesis I've got here, I'm just going to delete this and start again because I've always done it. So if I like Erling Aksdal, right? Aksdal is this Norwegian brilliant music educator and musician. That's not how you spell his name. Now now you see here in Google Docs, because I've got Paperpile installed, I've got a Paperpile menu here in Google Docs. What? I insert citation. Aksdal. Boom. There's 5 papers from my database written by Aksdal. So I can choose which one with the dates visible, choose which one on the site, and then I could even put in the page number for the quote. And let's say I then put in another quote for I love Jeff pressing. I love Jeff pressing. I'm going to put in a quote. The music is the data. My typing has gone absolutely to shit. The music is the data. So then I want to cite that to Jeff pressing with a page number. Pressing, boom. And I'm going to use this one. And I'm just going to make up. But I could go and find that in Paperpile, find out the number. Boom. Now look what happens. format citations for my article, my section, it makes a bibliography with the correct citations. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely brilliant. It's amazing. So all that work's done for you. So if you start using Paperpile from the beginning, which I did, it means that whole thing is not a headache. You know, here all these people spend a week on the bibliography and the quotes and everything, trying to find where the quote was from and what page it was from. So highly recommend that, and it's a really compelling reason to use Google Docs. However, I was told to use Microsoft Word for the final thesis, and this is where I got screwed. So I was doing a lot of let's go to this, a lot of bookmarking internal hyperlinks in Google Docs, because that's
question is, could you tell us
that's an external hyperlink. Here's an internal hyperlink, takes us to another part of the document. So that's page 150. So these hyperlinks, I tested it, was it going to work in Microsoft Word? And it did. So I thought, great. So because I was really happy in Google Docs, I did all my hyperlinks, internal ones and to YouTube and other things, in Google Docs. Then I exported. You can download the file as a Microsoft Word document, and you can do that whenever you want to back it up as well. And then for the final thing, I was going to open it in Microsoft Word and just finish it off in it. I thought that won't take too long. So first thing first, Microsoft Word. I kind of hate it, but it's also actually brilliant once you learn how to use it. This bit up here is called a quick access toolbar, so you can customize it. So what I've put in, go to table of contents, add a footnote, add a page break, update table of contents, because these are the things I was using all the time. So here's my table of contents. Now my table of contents is in the references bit. You can customize it to use how many levels you're showing. So I'm only using 2 levels, heading 1, heading 2, which means that for your table of contents to work, you need to use heading styles. And if you know that from the beginning, you'd probably be really consistent. And I'd use heading 1 for big sections, heading 2 for something you want to show up in the table of contents, and heading 3 for something you don't want to show up in the table of contents. Cancel. And I didn't do that, so I had to go through it, and it was a bit of a nightmare. But once I realised how it all worked, what I did was I made, let's go to here, heading 2 a different colour. So that means that if that's like to be heading 1, that's table of contents. If it's blue, it's also going to show up because it's heading 2. And I had another one that looks exactly the same. This one, heading 3, not table of contents. So that means I can start to, and I've got keyboard commands, so I can change these really fast. And that basically means it's in the table of contents. That means it isn't. So, and then it means you can go through your document and see as you're scrolling what's showing up in your table of contents and what isn't. But the other thing that's brilliant in Microsoft Word is if you go to View. Now, if you're on Mac, you use this outline view, and then you can actually choose to see just level 1, which is just the heading 1's sections, or level 1 and 2. And you can drag and drop these and change the order. So I could, if I look at level 1, I could move, this section up there, and it just moves everything that's in that section. It's fantastic. But what I discovered was, if you do that, you break all the URL, the hyperlinks that were imported from Google Docs. And I found that out on the last day, and it completely and utterly screwed me up. So, by the way, in Windows, you can do the same thing in this pane here called the navigation pane, which is very, very useful. You can just drag and drop. It's very similar. You can drag and drop headings to reorder the document. In Windows, you do it here. In Mac, you go to View and choose Outline, and you do it in the outline view. It's very similar. So what I did use this navigation pane for is because I wanted to make, let's go back to table of contents. Boom! I wanted to make a full list of videos. I thought, I'm not going to read through 300 pages and find all these. No, I just use a navigation pane. Let's put video in here. And it finds every mention of, he says confidently, sometimes you have to fiddle around with this. It finds every mention of the word video in the whole document, and you can just click on it, it jumps to it. And whenever you've got an actual video link, then I can cut and paste that. So I found that really fast way of sorting out, just navigating the document, finding specific things. What if I knew then what I know now, I would have tagged where I want to put a hyperlink like this here with something like a tilde. I wouldn't have put the hyperlink in Google Docs, or I would have put it in Google Docs, but I would have tagged it, and then once I got into the bookmarks from Google Docs show up as kind of slightly weird number things like this, letter and number combinations, whereas if you create them in Microsoft Word, you can give them like names, and that means if I want to hyperlink to there from here, I can open bookmarks, and if I put in test, there it is. So this is brilliant. So I should have done that, and showed you. Select Apple Shift K. You need to click in here and then put in test. Start typing test. Start typing test. And click test and go OK. Now I've got hyperlink, and that will jump. So yeah, I should have done, if I'd known what I know now, I'd have done all the hyperlinks once in Microsoft Word. So that's the thing, is knowing, it's knowing what sequence and workflow to use if you're going to use Google Docs and Paperpile is a brilliant combination for the writing phase and where you're not quite sure of your overall order. Microsoft Word is brilliant for the final phase, and you're just working out how and when you're going to move from one to the other, and when you're going to do the things like hyperlinks. Do it in Microsoft Word. Do the big reordering in Microsoft Word, because it's brilliant for that, but it will break the hyperlinks you've already made if you're relying on them. The big bibliography, let's go back to the table of contents. Boom! So easy, because I'd done it in Google Docs, and it was just done. 20 pages. Perfect. Boom. So two other bits of software I want to highly recommend that I used. First one is Notta.ai, and it's an audio transcription website. So you can just upload an audio file of you talking, just dictate shit into your phone. Sometimes I find, for me, just talking into my phone, I actually get a better summary of a set of stuff that, I wake up in the morning with an idea, say it straight into the phone, upload it into Notta, it transcribes it like this, and you can play it back.
First thing is that the Tim and Gold,
and it plays it back with marker where it is transcribing. So you can go, you click on it, double click on it, I can go in there and go, right, that's Tim Ingold. So you can correct it, and then you can cut and paste, copy the whole thing, cut and paste it into Google Docs. Absolutely brilliant way of dictating and transcribing. It's called Notta, and the other one is Miro. So I'm just going to show you how amazing Miro is. So Miro, you can just make a shape, let's say a square, type some text in. It's very easy to change the text color and the background. Now I can just click on these, instantly get another text box. So making mind maps is super fast. Move it around. I could change that to a circle or a triangle easily. Now if I want to draw connecting lines, I select connecting lines here, and now boom, sorry, let's do that again. If I'm not got it selected, I click S, and then I suddenly start on the thing to the thing. I can change that into a curvy line. Look, I can move it around. It's absolutely genius. Now that should be attached to here. Now I can move that around. Just brilliant. Now the other thing that's brilliant is I can duplicate that. Look at it. I mean, it's a software, so but look at this way it just zoomed out there automatically to keep everything in film. Now if I do this, so I take that out, and then take that out, and then that out, and then take that out, and then out, and then that out. And actually, I'm going to put that at the end, don't I? And this is how easy it is to do this. Look, I'm just making this up, but and then I'm going to stop there. I'll take that out. So now I've got a sequence of slides, and if I click on here, I can choose the order. So I'm gonna put them in this order, and there's probably a quicker way of doing this, but wait a minute. Frame 2 should be first. Frame 5 should be second. Frame 3 should be third. 4 should be fourth. Frame 1. So now I can do a presentation. So if I'm doing a sort of I'm recording this obviously on ScreenFlow, screen grab software. I can now do a presentation. Let's go back to 1. I had a balloon and a dir, and then I had a circle, and then I added a friend, and then here's my friend and hello. So I use this a lot for making really beautiful diagrams and then making videos explaining the diagrams. That's called Miro. You can also use Miro for duplicating diagrams in academic papers you want to use in your thesis and you haven't got time to ask permission, and as long as it's not a direct copy, it's slightly different, especially if you're adding some features or changing it slightly or simplifying it or adding features. You can do that without needing permission and you're not breaking copyright. So there you have it. That's all the stuff I used. Many things worked brilliantly. So Miro is brilliant, Notta is brilliant for transcriptions, Miro is brilliant for diagrams, Paperpile is unbelievable for storing and tracking academic documents and quotes and citations and bibliography and that whole nightmare thing. Google Docs is brilliant for writing in. Microsoft Word is brilliant for the final thesis, but you've got to be really clear about what you do when and get some Microsoft Word skills together so that you're not completely having a nightmare in the last week like I did. I hope that helps. Bye.